Parks, schools, restaurants, and more, Assembly Row gets high scores. We're a thriving city with so much to do. On Boston Harbor, in our view. Politics, cannabis, controversial stories, heroes, villains, who gets the glory? 50 plus languages in Somerville is spoken. Sanctuary city, there are no free tokens. History in Somerville stays alive. In All-American City, we won 3 times. Somerville connects. Somerville connects.
Welcome to another edition of Dead Air Live, the longest live-running TV show in America and audio podcast, Somerville Connects. Tonight we have a very interesting character. Well, I don't know if you want to call him a character, but if you look at his beard, you'll say, oh my God, is this Santa Claus? Nope, it's not Santa Claus. It is Daryl Whicker. And the topic is going to be friends don't let friends divorce because of debt. Welcome, Daryl. So glad that you're here this evening.
Thank you so much, JoJo, and I just want to thank you for having me as your guest. And this is very nice of you to have me come in to do this. So thank you so much.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Now, Daryl, we met each other on BNI, Business Networking International Speed Networking, and I was fascinated because you do something that we all need a little bit of help with. You help people stay out of debt. So, Daryl, I want you to give us a little history about yourself. Tell us, viewers and listeners, we don't know a whole lot about you. You can tell us whatever you want. But my point is, we want you to dive into your business, but give us a little background before you dive into your business. So, Daryl, take it away. It's all yours.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, I live in North Carolina. You can probably tell by the accent, and I just love helping people. I've always loved helping people, and so I grew up here. I've lived here all my life, and wrestled with what I wanted to do when I grew up, and so I really didn't know. So about 10 years ago, and I've had several different jobs throughout the years, I started my own business, and it was building custom websites, doing search engine optimization, and web videos. And then a couple of years after that, I've been in BNI for about 10 years, I found out about this healthy water, and I started selling the water machines. And I've done that for several years, and I still love helping people. So I found out a way to get people out of debt, and usually 1/3 to 1/2 the time, without refinancing, restructuring, or changing their current lifestyle.
Daryl, a lot of people think when they have debt and someone like yourself helps them get out of debt, how is this possibly going to happen? Are they going to have to do without all the things that they've been spending money on? How do you cut away all the fat? How do you simplify their lives so it's doable? Where do you approach it? Do they fill out a form? I mean, I have so many questions.
Well, and those are great questions, and thank you for asking. Basically, we set up a time to do a complimentary analysis, and I have them fill out a form that shows their current situation. And basically what it's doing is it's a snapshot of their financial situation. And then when we meet, usually do the meetings on Zoom, it takes about 45 minutes. Then we plug in all their information into this software, and the software will actually let the person know their exact payoff date. And it's through a software that has over 4.5 million lines of code in it. And it costs the company over $20 million for this. So it's a dynamic program specifically customized for that person or that business to get them out of debt the fastest way possible.
Do people do they tell you the truth when you're dealing with finances? Because sometimes people are embarrassed.
Well, I've found that they do tell me the truth. And because they want to get out of debt, they know that I'm probably their only hope to actually be able to get out of debt. And it's not just me; it's the program that does the work. I'm just the person that helps them get into the program. And if they want to move forward after the complimentary analysis, then there is a cost. And it's not a big cost, especially when you consider most people can pay for that usually in the first couple of months of the savings that they make right off the top.
If this is such an effective program, why is it that people are having a tough time on their own? What is the one thing that people are lacking that you would say people ought to do this and it could really help them?
Well, I had the same challenge in my life. I've been married for 38 years, and we've never had a budget. And so when we had a little money left over at the end of the month, we'd say, oh, hey, look, we've got some money left over. Let's go do this or let's go do that. What this program does, it takes your discretionary income and gets you out of debt exponentially. But it doesn't mean that you can't keep your current lifestyle. You can still go out to eat. You can still do what you've been doing. If your water heater busts, so what? You can use that money as your money. You can use it however you want to. But what this program does, it gets you right back on track. It's very easy to do. And when you make something simple and easy, people are more likely to do it. And then 80% of the people on this program actually get out of debt 20% faster. It's not guaranteed to get out of debt 20% faster. We have a guaranteed date that the person shows the exact date they get out of debt. But usually the people that are sticking to the program because it's easy to do are getting out of debt faster than what the program guarantees.
Are there like takeaways? Let's say if a person loves to go to Starbucks coffee, does the program encourage the person, listen, you're spending $4 to $6 a day for a latte. Why don't you just make your own coffee before you leave the house? Is that something that you will encourage people? Is this one of your strategies? Do you cut the fat out of what they're doing?
No, but if they want to, they can, because like I said, it doesn't affect their current lifestyle. I will say this, what it's done to me since I've been on the program, I look at money and I look at credit much differently now. Because when I had credit, and I still do, I'm like, look, I could buy this, or, if my credit card's got a big limit on it, I could go out and do this, but then you have to pay that back. And what you'll find is over a period of time, you're giving the banks over $1 million, in some cases millions of dollars, because you can't build true wealth until you are debt free.
So what is the percentage of people on the planet that are in debt?
I wish I knew. And this is open to the United States. We're not in any other countries right now, but that's a good question, and I'll have to dig in and try to find that out.
Is this program that you're asking people to come to see you, are you part of a franchise? Is there a name of the program? How this program you said is extremely successful. They guarantee. That's huge when you say we guarantee.
Yes, absolutely. It's a company out of Salt Lake, or not Salt Lake, out of Utah. And they've been around for 16 years, and I'm actually an agent for the company.
Okay, and you said that you have a testimony of someone that you've helped. You've been doing this for a few months, but you know what? I would trust you because you look like Santa Claus, and everybody trusts Santa Claus, believes in Santa Claus, right?
Yes. Well, thank you. Yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to ask you, what is your background in finance? Or is it from your own personal experience of you getting yourself out of debt with this company that you are doing this?
Yes, it is. And then I couldn't wait to tell my friends about it. So my very first client was, he just bought a home last year He's in his early 50s. He had $435,000 in total debt. And by using this program, and that was, student loans, credit cards, vehicles, his new home. But using this program, we were able to help him it was 31 and a half years is how long the bank's term he was going to be debt free. And we was able to get him down to 5.8 years, and we saved him $272,000 in interest.
How much? Say it again.
We saved him $272,000 in interest and went from 31 and a half years down to 5.8 years, and no lifestyle change, no refinancing, no restructuring of anything. All he does is signs into his software, and he does what it says, and then he signs out. He's done until the next time that he has to pay a bill or move money.
Okay, I'm a little bit confused. You're not changing any interest fees. He's not changing any of his spending. So how is it that it changes and you could save him $272,000 in interest?
Well, everybody's financial snapshot is different, and he just so happens to have a little more discretionary income at the end of the month. And what this program does, it goes after your highest interest. Sometimes I know some programs they'll go out after the lowest debt, but this goes after the highest. And there's no way I could tell you how exactly it works because there's over 4.5 million lines of code, and it's dynamic. So it's always working 24/7. Every time you make a change, the software makes a change customized to you. So with that discretionary income, he can still use that for whatever he wants to. But if he wants to stick with the program, like if, say, he needs a new car, he has to go out and get a new car, he can still do that. The program's not going to say, no, you can't do that. When you plug in the numbers, it's going to show you the new date that you will be out of debt. But the discretionary income goes after and attacks your total debt. And it does. If you just do what it says, and that's all you have to do. It's very easy.
So it's basically following a financial diet. You're plugging in the statistics. You're plugging in your money is like food, and you want to make sure that you have the right caloric financial intake, and you want to make sure that what's coming in is the same amount that's coming out. Maybe that's not a good example, but you get the idea that it's very structured. It's very structured. If you stick with the program, you'll get the results. Is that correct?
That's correct. And so it doesn't mean that they can't keep going out to eat or keep going on vacation, because that would be changing their current lifestyle. So it's not depriving you of anything that you're currently doing. And it's using that discretionary income to get you out of debt exponentially.
When you say discretionary income, are you talking about your main source of income that you receive every single week or every single day or every single month?
No, it's what's left over after you've paid all of your loan debt every month and all of your expenses. It's the money that's left over after everything is said and done. And with $1 left over, you can actually get out of debt faster by using this program. It still works.
Seriously? Now, what is the amount of debt that an average student leaves college with these days?
I guess it would depend on, and I don't have an answer for you, because I guess it would depend on what they went to school for and how much money they actually borrowed. So I have no way of knowing that number.
I heard on the average it's about $120,000.
Wow.
When a student leaves college, that's what they owe. And that to me is that's insanity. It's just crazy.
It is. And then they have to get a good job to pay that back. And usually it takes years and years and years to pay that back. And I know sometimes they have some deferred programs and different things, way to handle that, but it's still debt. And if you don't get rid of it, I mean, you actually are not going to be able to build true wealth until you're debt free.
What if a person has no discretionary income? They don't have anything left over. And they are living on every single penny they make is paying a bill. Then what?
Well, I probably wouldn't be able to help them, but there are certain things people can cut out if they really want to get out of debt and have some discretionary income. Like even if people have cable TV, is that a necessity? You really don't have to have that. If you're broke and you're broke even every month, is that really something that you want to keep, giving someone else that money?
Yeah, this is the question. So if somebody they don't have any money left over, but they have a lot of things, maybe do you encourage them to sell things? How do you approach that?
I haven't so far because everybody's financial situation is different. I haven't found anybody yet that didn't have some money left over at the end of the month so far. But that would be a good idea if they really truly want to get out of debt. They could sell some things they have and maybe even have a yard sale or sell an extra vehicle or maybe we don't want people to get so caught up into doing things to change their lifestyle. But if that's what's important to them and they don't have any leftover money at the end of the month, that would be great ideas to do.
What if you're dealing, let's say, with a woman and she has an addiction to shopping? Does this analysis that they fill out, does it cover anything like that? If somebody has any bad spending habits, or if somebody's a gambler, or somebody is a drinker and they are wasteful and frivolous with their money, does this program help them to get a grip on their lives?
It could. I'm not saying that it will, but I do know that I look at money and credit so differently now since I'm on the program, and we will be out of total debt in 1 year and 1 month. And we got started on the program back in May of this year, and we were set on track to get out of debt in 2.7 years. So we've already shaved off, quite some time already.
What is your new view on money? How do you look at money from this new perspective?
Well, I was always the big spender in my home. My wife never spends money. And so it's really helped me look at money differently and credit, because I thought, hey, if I got, a $20,000 credit card and I only owe like $15,000 or whatever, I've got $5,000 here I can play with. I don't look at it like that anymore. I want to get out of debt and just start paying cash. So I look at things a lot more differently since I've had this program myself.
So are you saying that people should view money, because my dad used to say, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. If you can't pay it off right there in the spot, don't buy it. That's the way I was brought up. Is that a good way of thinking?
I think so. Now, what I do is I put my expenses on my credit card and I pay that credit card off every month.
And why is that a good idea to put your expenses on the credit card?
Because I'm using somebody else's money for free for 30 days.
Okay, so and it's also giving you like travel miles. That's the way I look at it. You're right?
Yes, it is.
What is the one oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was through.
What is the one thing that you would encourage young people to do with their money? And how young would you encourage someone to start saving?
As soon as they can start talking, and have their parents make a savings account or a checking account and show them how, because I think that's what lacks a lot of times. People aren't taught how to do money, and that was my problem. I mean, married for 38 years, we never had a budget, so this also has a built-in budget. My wife's mother and her brother are very good at the budgets and finance and all that, but I never did really. I never really thought that much of it until next year. My wife's going to retire. I mean, I've got a couple different businesses, And I just wanted to be able to be totally debt free. And then what your dad said is so true. Back when my wife's grandparents, they farmed. A lot of people farmed way back. They never had credit. They paid cash for everything. Brand new cars, tractors, whatever they bought with cash. And then so there's a couple of generations here where people started looking at money different or credit different and going in debt. But when you go in debt and you pay the banks all the money that they make and you realize how much money you're actually paying the banks, then you just gave them several millions of dollars in your lifetime because of the interest rates.
This is how banks stay in business. And a lot of people don't know this. If they don't own a business, credit card companies make a ton of money off of businesses because the merchant has to pay the credit card company not just one fee, several fees. So these banks and financial institutions are really doing very well, wouldn't you say?
Yes, that's why when you go to any city, the banks have the biggest buildings downtown.
Ah, okay.
They can afford it.
Right, right. So, Daryl, what is the one thing that you would like to tell people? How can they find you? And why would you want them to come to you to get out of debt? Because I love the title of the show, Friends Don't Let Friends Divorce Because of Debt.
Well, they could go to my website or they can call me. My website is fastestwaytodebtfree.com. And that's fastestwaytodebtfree.com. Or they can call me at 336-926-1492. That's 336-926-1492. And we can set up a time to meet over Zoom. And then I'll share with them a complimentary analysis and see what their financial snapshot is and see if I can help them or not. And there's no sales involved whatsoever. If someone wants it, I'll help them get it. If they don't, thanks for looking at it. Who do you know that would like to be debt free?
This is beautiful. And you work with anyone in the United States, Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico?
Absolutely.
This is fabulous. Folks, you want to check out our amazing Daryl Whicker and fastest to debtfree.com. And debt is DEBT, pronounced like DET, but it's DEBT. And you have his phone number. You can see his phone number below. He's a fabulous human being. You have a very warm, likable presence. And, I could tell that you're probably getting things done, which is exciting. And I'm so glad that I had the pleasure to meet you. So, Daryl Whicker, thank you so much for joining us today on another edition of Dead Alive and Somerville Connects.
Thank you so much, JoJo. I really appreciate you having me, and it's my pleasure as well. And it's so great meeting you here recently.
Thank you, folks. Okay, bye for now. Thank you.
Thank you.
Somerville connects. Somerville connects.